Hello everyone, I am Muriel Charouri and I'm going to present today the dry reforming of methane reaction in the presence of toluene using cobalt, nickel, magnesium, aluminum catalyst. With the current population increase, human-made waste production is also rising significantly. Moreover, the need for energy sources to suffice for everyone is also increasing. Currently, the main source of energy used worldwide are fossil fuels. However, fossil fuels, as well as waste accumulation, are the main causes for greenhouse gas production, which are directly related to global warming. In addition, the stock of fossil fuels is not unlimited and is expected to last for no more than 100 years. So, what's the solution for all of this? To break this cycle, the solution would be to use the waste accumulated to produce biogas through an anaerobic digestion process, and then to convert it into syngas or synthesis gas through the dry reforming of methane reaction. Then the syngas can be can be used in several industrial processes to produce sources of energy and other raw materials. So the process we are going to discuss in this presentation is first the production of biogas from biomass or organic waste using the methanation or anaerobic digestion process on an industrial scale, and second, the conversion of biogas into syngas on a lab scale using the dry reforming of methane reaction. First, we are going to start by discussing the anaerobic digestion process that converts biomass into biogas. This process takes place in an environment without oxygen in the presence of several microorganisms, mainly bacteria or archaea. In these conditions, a series of reactions can take place to break down the organic matter into a gas called biogas and composed mainly of methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen, and it can contain small quantities of water and oxygen. In addition to these major compounds, some trace compounds such as siloxane, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, halogen compounds, and volatile organic compounds can also be found in biogas. Its composition depends on the process conditions, on the microbial population, the composition and age of the initial waste, as well as the methanation plant. Biogas can be produced in an anaerobic digestion plant, in a landfill, and in a wastewater treatment plant. In our study, we have chosen to work with biogas produced in a landfill located in the north of France. This plant is made of several sealed underground compartments where waste is stored. This is where methanation takes place. Then the produced raw biogas is directed using conducts into an upgrading station where undesired products such as H2S, siloxane, and VOCs are eliminated. Finally, the clean biogas is used in a cogeneration system. In our study, we have analyzed the biogas at the outlet of the underground compartments, here, right before any purification treatment has occurred. Gas chromatography was used to determine biogas composition. This technique was coupled with a thermal conductivity detector for major compound identification and quantification, as well as a flame ionization detector for minor compounds. Methane and carbon dioxide represent respectively 33 and 27% of biogas composition. They are the most valuable gases for its valorization. Oxygen and water are detected in smaller concentrations of 4 and 1.5%, and they can also play a role in biogas valorization. Nitrogen represents 33% of biogas and is an inert gas that does not have an added value in regards to the studied reaction. On the graph below, the concentrations of VOCs are represented in ppm. Pinene is the most abundant VOC, followed by limonene and styrene. Ethylbenzene, xylene, toluene, and benzene are detected between concentrations of 10 and 50 ppm. Both the presence of these compounds may affect the valorization process of biogas, which is why they are removed during the upgrading process. In this study, we have chosen to determine the effect of the presence of these molecules during the valorization of biogas in the dry reforming of methane reaction. This reaction is the conversion of both major compounds of biogas, methane and CO2, into synthesis gas made of hydrogen and CO. However, this reaction is highly endothermic and requires temperatures higher than 670 degrees for taking place. For this reason, it is important to use a catalyst to increase the yield of the reaction at lower temperatures. On the other hand, the catalyst needs to be selective towards the dry reforming of methane reaction because secondary reactions can also occur in the same temperature range. More specifically, carbon-forming reactions such as methane decomposition and boudoir reaction can take place and cause the deactivation of catalysts by carbon deposition. In this prospect, we have studied the effect of the presence of VOCs molecules on the performance of a cobalt-nickel-based catalyst that was already determined to be active in the DRM reaction in previous studies. The catalytic performance was monitored using the following setup. In the current study, toluene was selected as model molecule for VOCs. A series of 12-hour stability tests was performed at 750 degrees on the reduced catalysts. The synthetic mixture containing CH4, CO2, and toluene diluted in argon was passed through the quartz reactor containing the reduced material and then was analyzed by gas chromatography coupled to a thermal conductivity detector. The concentrations of all inlet gases are comparable to the concentrations that were detected from the biogas analysis. The conversions of reactants as well as H2/CO ratio were monitored. We have followed during 12 hours the conversion of methane and carbon dioxide in the absence and the presence of different concentrations of toluene. The catalyst remained stable for the duration of the test in all of the mentioned conditions. This shows that the presence of even the highest concentration of toluene did not cause the complete deactivation of the catalyst. On the contrary, the curves show that in the presence of toluene, the reactant's conversion increases with time. We also notice that the conversion of CO2 is higher than the conversion of methane, signaling to the occurrence of secondary reactions. This result is confirmed by the H2/CO ratio lower than 1. This could be linked to the occurrence of the reverse water-gas shift reaction, which converts CO2 and H2 into CO and H2O. This would explain the conversion of CO2 higher than CH4 that we noticed during the test, as well as the H2/CO ratio lower than 1. After the stability tests, the used samples are analyzed by thermal analysis. This technique allowed the quantification of carbon that was produced during the test. All samples contain carbon, however, carbon formation increases in the presence of toluene. The carbon-related weight loss goes from 8% in the absence of toluene to 58% at its highest concentration. Moreover, from the DTA analysis, at least two types of carbon are identified. Filamentous carbon that's oxidized at 450 and 480 degrees, as well as graphitic carbon that's oxidized at 600 degrees. This correlation between toluene concentration and carbon formation could be due to either toluene containing 7 carbon, which means that if toluene decomposition is occurring, it will lead to the production of more carbon, or that the presence of toluene could block some of the active sites involved in the dry reforming of methane mechanism, slowing down the reoxidation of carbon step and causing the carbon accumulation. The XRD of the used samples confirms the presence of graphitic carbon in all of the samples. In addition, the metallic cobalt and nickel phases identified at 44 and 52 degrees increase with the addition of toluene in the gas feed. This shows that in the presence of toluene, more hydrogen is being produced, causing the continuous reduction of the active phase. This could explain the increase in methane and CO2 conversions noticed during the tests. In conclusion, the composition of biogas from a landfill was determined. The concentrations of methane, CO2, and VOCs determined from this analysis were used during the lab-scale experiments on the dry reforming of methane using cobalt, nickel, magnesium, and aluminum catalyst. During the dry reforming of methane tests, the catalyst remained active even at high concentrations of toluene. However, thermal analysis proved that the addition of toluene increased carbon formation. It's important to remember that even a high quantity of carbon did not cause the deactivation of the catalyst, but it could significantly shorten its shelf life during a test of longer duration. This study proved the potential of DRM reaction in valorization of biogas even before its purification step. As future perspectives, it would be interesting to increase the duration of the stability test, as well as to monitor the effect of other model molecules also identified in biogas on the catalytic performance. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.